welcome to Men's Week. When you gonna do some content about the men? When you gonna do content for the men? Oh, you asked for it, you got it. Toyota. It's Men's Week. And in Men's Week, we do content strictly directed at the men, for the men, man stuff. What is a high value man? Glad you asked. Let's define it. Welcome back. For those of you who don't know, my name is Kevin Samuels. I'm a professional men's and corporate image consultant. My job is to make sure my clients look good, smell great, and are the best version of themselves each and every day. But who are we kidding? The reason you're here right now is because the term high value man seems to be everywhere. Full disclosure, I didn't create the term, guys. High value man has been with us for a long time. I have just put my own unique spin on it and kind of popularized it, and it has kind of gone viral. But here's the thing. So many people are talking about high value this, high value that. And many times they're actually talking about me and saying as though, well, Kevin said this or Kevin said that. And many people are getting it 100% wrong. So in an attempt to make sense of all this, I want to give you guys the simple 6 basic principles that I define as being high value. Now, again, you don't have to agree with what I'm saying, but this is what I'm talking about when I'm saying a high value man. So your mileage may vary, your opinion is your opinion, but when I'm talking about it, this is what I'm talking about. So let's get it started. First of all, let's go over some basic definitions. High, great, greater than normal in quantity, size, or intensity. Value, the regard of something held to deserve, the importance, worth, or usefulness of something. And man, an adult human male. So when you put all that together, what do you have? An adult human male that's greater than normal importance or usefulness to what? The group. Basic economic principle states that the value of something is what a market is willing to pay for it. The value is determined by what? The market. And when we're talking about individuals, the market is other people, men or women. So a high value man is completely determined by the market. Case in point, you can have a vehicle, a home, anything in your possession. You can hold it dear. It could be supremely important to you. But when you put it on the market decides. And there's an upper limit and a lower limit. It doesn't really matter if you think the low is too low or the high is not high enough. That's what the market is willing to pay for it, and that is its overall value. That has been with us forever. So when we start talking about that, we're dealing with people. It really throws people off because it seems so cold, so calculated. But like it or not, that's the way the world is. So let's get into this whole high value man thing. Number one, in order to be a high value man, it starts with money. Again, like it or not, I didn't put the 6-figure thing out there. It's been with us since the mid 80s, and like it or not, that's where this whole thing starts. You can't be high value and homeless, so you have to make a certain amount of money, and the line is roughly at $10,000 a month adjusted for Atlanta dollars. If you live in San Francisco, LA, New York City, where the cost of living is higher than 100%, you need to adjust it. So $10,000 a month gets the starting point off for high value. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm just giving you what the world gave me. Number 2, that money needs to be made over a length of time, i.e. performance. And that's roughly about 5 years. And about the 3-year mark, you're kind of starting to scratch the surface. Why does it need to be 5 years? Well, because guys, it's a matter of consistency and stability. Look in the NFL, the NBA, anybody can have a great season, but having a great season does not automatically mean you're going to the Hall of Fame. They want to see consistent numbers over a period of time. You know how this works, just like I do in business. You can't be a one-hit wonder or have up here and down there. Consistency, performance over a length of time. That's why that 5-year mark is so important. Like I said, around 3 years, you're starting to scratch the surface, but at 5 years, people can pretty much count on you to say, this person understands and knows how to get it done. Number 3 is group acceptance. Like it or not, guys, high value man is like a fraternity. It's like a club, a secret society. And high value men know other high value men. They welcome him into the group. They know what it takes to be there. They know what it takes to get in there. And high value men, group acceptance is supremely important. Guys, secret societies, fraternities, organizations have always been with us. And you know how this just works in just general interaction. Guys that just make their own secret society or club, but it doesn't matter as much as somebody says that group is important. Guys, this is about separation. High value men tend to huddle around other high value men for reasons I'm going to go into a little bit later. But group acceptance is another critical component of being a high value man. Why is group acceptance so important? Because the next part, a network. You have to have a network of other high value men and others. This is another stumbling block for a lot of guys, for a lot of people, because they may have the money, even the length of time. They may look like they fit the group, but if they don't even have any other high value contacts or a network, a group of others, that person's going to be looked at with a side eye. Think of it like this. If you're sitting at the table with 10 high value men, and each of these 10 men has 50 contacts, that's 500 contacts, and you sit at the table and you have twice as much money as any other man on there, but you have 0 contacts. What can you effectively get done other than throw money at it? These other men can make phone calls, exert influence, move things to get things done. And you can only do what? Offer money and potentially feed off that network of contact. One thing high value men know and understand, that time is what's important. And building a network that actually works for you is extremely important. In some areas, it's called a book of business. A book of business can make you successful here, here, and here. Your contacts, your network is your net worth. You've heard this before, so you cannot underestimate how important having a network of high value men and other people is to your status as a high value man. After the network, we got to have the visibility. Guys, your income and your position has to be LinkedIn level. Think of it like this. This person says they're the CEO of a Fortune 500 company. This person is head of thoracic surgery at Johns Hopkins. This person is VP of Mergers and Acquisitions at Bank of America. And then someone says, hi, I'm an entrepreneur. 3 of those 4 people, at a glance, we can pretty much estimate who they are, what they do, and their relative importance in the overall socioeconomic structure. The 4th person, more information is needed. There's not enough visibility, not enough transparency. To be a high value man, it needs to be at a glance. Again, your position and your income. Guys, you may have a lot of money, but if it's coming from sketchy areas, no one can kind of understand where it's coming from, that does not give other high value men or even the public any kind of real confidence that you are who you say you are. Again, guys, it's about the market. It's what the world is thinking. They got to know at a glance that you are a high value man. And the 6th part is probably my favorite part, guys. A high value man is useful to others and the group. A lot of times you'll hear people say, I don't want to be used. I don't want to be used. No, I want to be used. Why? Because that means I'm useful. High value men are in demand and useful. Their presence is felt when they're there, and their absence is felt when they're gone. That is how you know you're really a high value man. How you can move things, your ability to influence things, and that is your relative usefulness. In economics, it's called utils. How useful are you to the group? Again, there's no high value homeless, neither are there any high value loners. If you have all these resources, all this stuff, but it's all hoarded for your own selfish ends and no one can benefit from your money, your network, or anything you have, how valuable are you to the group, to the world, to other people? That's what this comes down to. High value men are in demand and useful to other people. As I said at the beginning, high value is all the rage, all the buzz right now. I didn't make it, but I want to clarify what I mean when I'm talking about it. The 6 basic principles of being a high value man, and that by no means is the end of it. Each individual person, after that 6 basic things there, they maybe put other things on top of it. They may have religious concerns, personal motivations, but those 6 core things need to be there. Look at it this way. High value has been with us forever. There's always been a ranking system, irrespective of race, culture, period of time. You will see higher value men, higher value individuals separate or be separated from the pack. That is how this works. You don't have to like it, but you do need to accept it. High value men understand that the world is a competitive place. All's fair in love and war, right? And high value does 2 things for a man. It gives you more options and it gives you an opportunity to get more favorable outcomes. If you want more options or more favorable outcomes, you need to increase your overall value. And that principle is pretty well understood everywhere except when it comes to us. It gets personal, it gets hard, it gets difficult. And some of us don't like to reduce human beings to things that are so seemingly cold and calculated. But like it or not, that is what it is. We have civilized the world in general. We have evolved, but at the end of the day, we still have that primitive brain, that hunter-gatherer, fight or flight. And even though in the suit and all that other kind of stuff, that is who we are when it's right down to it. Better to know that exists and then ask yourself, what do you want to do about it, than try to fight against this whole thing of high value or not high value. Last things, just because you're not a high value man does not mean you lack value or you're of no value. And just because you may not be supremely useful to the group does not mean you're useless. High value is not a way of saying these guys are great and these guys are nothing, but it is a mark, a delineation, and it is a fact of life. It comes into play when men are dealing with men and when women are dealing with men. You can't get over it, guys, so you might as well understand it and act accordingly. Till the next time, your Godfather is out. When you're trying to work your way up to high value, it's a lot about your social skills, because the group acceptance is the quickest way for a guy who's got middle value to get to high. Somebody pulls you up. I would say the majority of guys who are high value have a story where somebody decided to pull them up and give them a shot. And they just looked at him and said, you look like you kind of got what it takes. Here's the thing. Blue Henrys. These are guys who never wear a suit to work. But it's not because they don't look good in a suit. They're just environments aren't suit driven. But these are my guys who can be in logistics, oil and gas, or the skilled trades, to name a few. Ownership happens quicker over here because you get into your subject matter quicker than in white collar. In white collar, you got to do a lot of shit jobs as a junior or an account executive, and work your way up. Dual tracks, but either way, there comes a point in white collar or blue collar where you have to leave the companies you work for. When I worked for Mobile, when I worked for MCI, who is no longer around, I cut my teeth in telecommunications years ago, and that entire industry evaporated. But the skills I learned there are continuing to pay dividends right now. So, what is the point of increasing your value? Because increasing your value does two things primarily for guys. You increase your opportunities and you increase your options. Said thank you to the Godfather for giving tech a shout out. Yeah, because increasing your opportunities right now, there are people right now, the pandemic is making new millionaires. Because they can't go into the office and because they have a particular skill set that lends to them being able to work in this digital landscape and become more effective at a distance. So to all my introverts, understand something. If you listen to what I tell you and just learn some of the basic things about EQ, you can separate yourself from your coworkers and your competitors and fast track. That's what I did. That's what a lot of guys do. Okay. Let's get the likes up, man. There are 2,400 people in here. 2,500 people in here. We got to get it moving. What kind of sales jobs? Another thing, guys, I need to also explain something to you guys. If you want to talk to me one-on-one, you're going to have to pay for it. Don't send me an email saying, hey, I would love to pick your brain. I would love to talk to you. You're going to have to pay for my time. One of the key things in this whole high value thing is learning that you're going to have to sacrifice Anywhere you go, you're going to have to invest in coaching. You're going to have to do crap jobs, work long hours, stop looking for the fast track, quick. You're going to have to worry about the long, slow, deferred gratification. All the things you hear, and anybody who's been successful will tell you a lot of these things. And trying to work around or do it for cheap or get over on somebody is the quickest way to make your name mud with people who could really help you. Because I would tell you, these guys talk. And if you think you're going to hustle somebody to like, oh man, nah. So here's the thing. High value. So stay on track. Henrys, high earners, not rich yet. That goes for men and women. And the difference between the Henrys and the previous generations were waiting to live life after retirement. These generations are wanting to live life now. The key is balance. The key is balance, in my opinion. You can still plan for the future and live a good life now. Because today, many people aren't getting married as early and they're not having as many kids. So it's different. But you got to realize the most important thing in high value is understanding time is the most important thing you have. Time is the most important thing you have. Money, resources, power, status, influence, network, gravitas. These are some components of increase. These are some components that you want to increase. Now understand something. I'm an image consultant. And yes, I am a successful guy because I've tried many things and I've failed a lot. But as an image consultant, I deal in reality. Reality, outcomes. I don't deal in theory and what could happen. You notice that a lot on my show. I'm always talking about outcomes. Reality. I don't deal in what could be or what should be. I don't deal in principled arguments. So in my world, things are very black and white, which makes gray, which is what you see me wear a lot of times. Black, white, but most of the time you see me in a gray pinstripe suit. If you watch the Game of Thrones, I'm going to give you some ideas. Tywin Lannister, the House of Lannister, in the real world would have run that show. J.R.R. Martin made that show to where, or the book to where he died. In the real world, they would have been the Medicis. They would have been the Roosevelts, the Rockefellers. They would have gone on and on and on. So I'm going to go into the alternate universe for the Lannisters. And I'm going to make them black. Because I'm black. I'm going to make them black. And we're going to call them the Lancasters. No, we just call them the Lannisters. And they can still be white. It doesn't matter. But here's the point. Tywin Lannister was never trying to be the king. He was concerned about power. Power and influence. One thing that made Tywin powerful is he never sought the top job. Too many of you guys trying to be high value, you want to be the number one. You want to be a king, especially you black guys. You want to be the one out in front. And I'm sorry, the market gets to decide. The market gets to decide who's out in front, and there's only one lead singer. Think about the 5 heartbeats. Everybody's fighting over the microphone. No, you want to control. You want to own the studio and the music and the masters. Damn, own the microphone. There's always some new star. Be the hand behind the throne or the ear of power. Tywin Lannister would have gone on and on and on and on in the real world, and that's the OG. That's a truly high value man. You know how he's a high value man? Because even as crazy as Joffrey was, King Joffrey, when Tywin Lannister spoke, Joffrey shut his sadistic self up. Tywin Lannister was so cold that when Joffrey as king, I am the king and da-da-da-da-da-da, and going off and he said, I mean, he was roasting Tywin, right? He was capping on him. He was calling him all kind of sissies and fags and this and that and punks and wearing purses and all this other kind of stuff. And what Tywin Lannister said? I think the king is tired. That was it. I am not tired. I think the king needs some rest. And then his mother, the queen, The maester jumped up. Every powerful person in that kingdom at that table moved on Tywin Lannister saying, I think the king is tired. Maester, maybe some essence of nightshade to help him sleep. Tywin Lannister put the king to frickin' bed. The king had the mic right. Tywin understood power, and Joffrey understood power. And power lays where the people put it. Joffrey was the king, but nobody ever mistook where power was. So, Tywin Lannister. And in my version of Game of Thrones, Jaime Lannister would not have gone to the Knight's Guard or the King's Guard. French toast that. He would have been right under his father, as he should have been, as an apprentice, learning how to do what he should have done. Remember when Jaime was in Tywin Lannister's tent and Tywin was skinning a deer or something like that? And he was saying, I need you to become the man you should have been. Jaime Lannister was born into a position of power and principle and influence, but he threw it all away. But in my telling of Game of Thrones, Jaime Lannister will continue to move on. That's the guy who was born under a father who could teach him something. But I also need to move you into another world, the Littlefingers of the world. In my version, Littlefinger would have kept on living. In my world, Varys wouldn't have been snipped. In my world, you'd have had Jaimes, you'd have had Varys's, and you'd have had Littlefingers. And they all would have been high value, Henry's in training. They were all vying for the next step. And there were 3 different ways of doing that. There are multiple ways, but there were 3 different ways. Littlefinger trafficked in information. Varys trafficked in secrets. And Jaime was an accomplished man who actually had the outward trappings of power, but he still needed to learn some things. Now, in the real world, let's not get too far off that. So basically, this is how I think about things. You understand who Tywin is. You understand who Jaime was. You understand who Littlefinger and Varys. Those are the people who ran, what was it called? Westeros. Millions of people. King's Landing, 1 million people in that city, run by a handful of people. Like I said, high value men have always been with. Can non-select men be high value? Varys was non-select. You don't get much more non-select than no fun bits. But anybody want to dispute his value? I'm sorry, I missed Tyrion. My bad. Tyrion. You had Jaime, who had the jawline, but he didn't have the discipline. In my world, Jaime would have not gone to Kingsguard, but he would have had to stand back. But Tyrion was born the direct opposite, a dwarf with a mentality. And in my world, those two would have worked together to surpass Tywin. Because they wouldn't have gone and done the Cain and Abel. They'd have worked together. Jaime would have been the front man. Tyrion would have been the back, the guy behind. They loved each other as brothers, and they wouldn't have fought. They would have worked together to say, this is how we do this. No one will ever accept me as a dwarf and as an ugly little sawed-off dude as king, but I will be your hand. Brother, you will be the king, and we will run this shit. Not only will we run Westeros, we'll go take Easteros, we'll go make dragons. Why is this important? Because Littlefinger and Varys show you that you can increase your value. Tyrion and Jaime show you that even if you were born into it, it's not a guarantee that you're going to maintain it. It comes down to choices. For men, first off, A lot of reason people are upset with this high value thing is because men and women are questioning their value, and because people are asking them value questions. That's why people are a little upset with this, because they're questioning their own value. Men are questioning their value, women are questioning their own value, and honestly, people are starting to question, are you? And the thing is, if you're not happy with your value, you don't want to talk about it. But I would think if you're not happy with your value, talking about it should be the least of the problems. If you're not happy, do something about it. For men, one of the first things, in no particular order, but I will say one of the first things that man needs to get, they need to do two things at the same time. You need to get a group, a personal and a professional group. Successful men travel with successful men. One of the reasons I was able to ascend the way I did through corporate America is because I ascended with a group. I'm not going to say the people's names, but D, G, C, P, M, B. Those six people and I, 7 of us, went from company to company to company. And when one of us moved, we all moved. 7 people going at one target together. Rising tide lifts all boats. Stop being a lone wolf. When you work in a company, stop trying to be a lone wolf. And this is the problem. This is why so many of you will never raise your value. You're trying to do it on your own. You're trying to be Tesla, and you need to be Edison. You need to get a group. People like you, people want to do stuff for you. Being right, principled, and moral only makes you a loser if you don't have the other components. You can be right, principled, and moral and a winner. See, it's not an either or thing. That's number 2. Life is and. It's not either or, it's and. You need a group. You need a personal group and a professional group. Maybe those groups are the same, but generally they're different. And then you need a high value mindset. A high value mindset automatically goes looking for the hard path. It does not try to do the hard things, though. You don't go and try to reinvent the wheel. You take what's already working and you improve on it. How foolish would it be for somebody to sit back and say, hey, I see something that's working right now, but I'm going to do something completely opposite? Or would it make more sense to say, I'm going to take what's already working and improve upon that? That's what smart, working smarter, not harder. But see, this way feeds your ego. Oh, but you're going to have to check that ego, because you're not going to ascend higher. You're going to cap yourself at your ego, because there's a lot of eating shit you're going to have to do as you try to become a high value man. As you try to increase your value, there's a lot of eating shit, because you're going to have to sit in Atlanta in a Jamie position, in a Tywin position, in a Littlefinger position, in a Varys position to Tywin Lannister. You're going to have to sit in a Tyrion position. I'm sorry. You're going to have to shut up and do what Tywin says, even if you think he's wrong, because he's the man. And other groups seem to get this. And guys who can do this, who can learn to eat shit, shut up, tend to learn the EQ skills necessary to move up and deal with other men of value. Get a group, it's a mindset. Then there's also a fitness component. Guys, you got to be an athlete for life. You can't get to be 350 pounds, type 2 diabetes. Come on, man. You got to be a fitness. You got to get fit. You don't have to be a muscle-bound weightlifter, but you need to be fit, functional muscle. You need to add work, keep your core tight, flexibility, eat a healthy, balanced diet. There's a fitness component. There's also several things you need to master. You need some martial mastery. Dude, you need to learn how to get your hands and your feet calibrated. See, one thing I never really talk about is my martial arts background. But trust me, I learned early on that I'm going to have a lot of fights on my hands with guys. Early on, I realized that there were guys who were going to be upset with me, jealous of me, not liking me because I had I had curly hair, and women liked it because women liked me. Just put it right out there. Guys were going to be mad because women liked me and I was smart. So I wasn't just a good-looking guy and a dumbass. So I was smart. So I knew I was going to have a lot of jealous haters. So guess what? I started Taekwondo early. And I knocked several mother suckers out quick. So it got around that you ain't going to be punking me. I was thin, light in the ass, but I would knock you the fuck out. The word got around OKC real quick. Mess with him if you want to. He will beat your ass and take your girl. And ain't nothing changed. Why do you need martial mastery? First off, as the man, you shouldn't want anything you can't defend and protect. Number two, people are going to try you. And you don't want to end up getting yourself into a situation that you can't defend yourself. That you need a gun, some sort of weapon all the time. You're a punk. I listen to guys all the time, I'll cap you out this. You're a pussy. Straight up pussy. Men who really know how to take care of themselves aren't looking for trouble, but they know how to handle it. And that's what it comes down to. And there's a confidence that comes with knowing if I have to, I don't want to, but if I have to, I won't hesitate to make you puke blood. I don't go looking for trouble. I never have. You guys have heard me throw out that I was a bouncer before and I fought full contact, but I don't talk about it because I don't need to pound my chest about it. But even some of my friends in my real life have been surprised when they've gone around my martial friends and they realize, oh, you friends he knows this. My best friend from childhood, the first time he saw me fight in a tournament, he was like, oh. He's like, I got better stop talking shit to you. I was like, he was joking, but he was kind of serious because he was like, I never knew. I'm like, what am I do? Run around with a Daniel San headband around doing jump spin and crescent kicks? That shit ain't real. Martial mastery. Because you need to be able to take care of yourself, number one. And number two, the sheer confidence that comes with knowing, all right, okay, say whatever you want, as long as you don't cross this line. And not having, just the confidence that comes with that is hard to explain. The confidence with knowing that you don't have to bark loud. You can just say what you need to say and then just move through life. You don't even have to respond to everything. But if someone decides to test you and you know beyond a shadow of a doubt, you can make them really pay for it. You're more concerned with them than you are with you. When you really master something, you're more afraid of what they're going to have to live with than what's going to happen to you. You may get punched or hit, but you're going to break something. Something's going to really be wrong with them going forward. And see, today people don't take butt whoopings like they used to. So walking and keeping yourself out of trouble, checking that ego that I said early on, is a big portion of becoming high value. A lot of guys deter themselves off value because their ego is out of control. They can't shut up. They always got to be right. They always want to fight, and they think they're the baddest, and they're not. And they stay in lower level stuff, and they never can ascend past their ego. Because the guys that are up here that would work with them are like, no. Hothead, troublemakers, bad for business. Mastering something else. What are you a master of? When I was in sales, my goal was to become a top sales professional, President's Club. I wanted to be a top closer. A, B, C. Always be closing. I wanted to be so good that when my competitors from other companies realized that we were in on the bid, I wanted them to say shit. So, what do you got for me?
Hey, what's up? I'm 31.
What's your first name?
Gabriel.
Okay. Go ahead.
31. Single, no kids, never married.
Okay. Question.
Just what I can do to increase my value. I did have some OGs coming up who kind of let me know, it's like, hey man, as long as you stay in real estate, as long as you don't have kids.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're 31 with no kids.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to know how to increase your value.
Yeah.
Increase your value to what?
Increase my value to where not so much have the pick of the litter when it comes to women and the life I want to live, as far as like the house I want to live in, the life I want to provide to my future children. I'm really kind of just running away.
Dude, you're 31 years old. I need you to say you're 31. I'm still hearing it. No offense. The dude that just called, 22, you sound just like him. And you're 10 years older.
Yeah.
You should know what you want to be doing by 31 years old. And the first thing that came out of your mouth was increase your value. And the first thing that came out was something regarding a woman. So let's just cut to the chase. You want to increase your value so you can get a better quality of poon. That's the first thing that came out of your mouth, man.
Yeah, that's number one.
All right, then. Well, that's a shitty reason to increase your value.
All right.
It's a horrible reason to. It's a poor motivation.
Mm-hmm.
Before YouTube, did you want to increase your value?
Yeah. Started a studio for a couple years.
What kind of studio?
Music studio.
Okay. Where do you work out at?
Work out at home, just doing like stretches and stuff.
How tall are you?
5'7".
How much did you weigh your last weigh in?
235.
You ain't working out, bro. First thing a man has to, man, the first thing.
I'm working out.
No, the first thing a man has to value is himself. That's what I'm showing you. 31, the first thing you came out of your mouth was something about a woman. And I can just show you that you're not even doing, see, the answer would have been, man, I really ain't working out. Just being honest. I'm overweight. And that's the thing. I deal in reality. You're not going to, and if you listen to the broadcast, I lined out. I said, a man needs to, get around personal and professional people that are going to push it. His mindset. Fitness was third on that list. So what I'm really hearing is what I heard often. A lot of you guys, you want something for nothing. You don't want to do the work. You want to be lazy. You want it to come easy. And I'm glad the price is high. I'm glad the price is high. So you can't have it. It should only be for the guys that want to do the work. Or else it wouldn't be worth anything.
No, I agree with that.
So, at 31 years old, no kids, there's nothing stopping you from getting up, going to the gym 5 days a week, and working 12 to 16 hours.
Yeah, I'm working that many hours.
No, 12 to 16 hours. Hold on, 12 to 16 hours a week that you're getting paid for.
Yeah, I another studio.
All right. Okay. Well, okay. I got your question. So that will be my advice, man. You can't want. Okay, your motivation has to be something other than external. Mm-hmm. So, all the best, my friend.
All right. Have a good one.
You too now. I appreciate everybody showing up, but that's what we got to do. Until the next time, we got to do what we got to do. Peace. We're gone.
Say what's wrong or right. No. It's not hard to fool me. No. 'Cause I'm addicted to the good life. Yes. Yeah. Lead the way. I follow. No need to say. No. Where we are heading now, babe. I follow. So tell your good lies, 'cause I'll buy no matter what, yeah. Susceptible now, before the moment flies. Ooh. So tell your good lies, 'cause I'll buy no matter what.
Shout out to the CIA. One Love is FBI. Link for the self-awareness assessment will be down in the description. Be watching for the video releasing. I'm a PhD.
Nothing can stop me.
I'm
'Cause I'm addicted to what you and I realize.
PhD.
Lead the way.
Strong, independent woman.
Where we are heading now, babe. I follow to the edge of it all.
I rebuke.
So tell your good lies.
I'll make you famous.
I'll find no matter what, yeah.
I'm a PhD. Shout out to all the callers. Let's get it going, fellas. Lace them up. Time to get in the game. I will say this. Black women are not our enemy. Peace out. We're gone.